Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? So, I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but it's okay. We're back with another one, and today we're actually going to be starting off with Bengal, the Bengali Republic. They've been fighting for a while in Sri Lanka, so this is going to be our warm-up war. We're finally going to put an end to this. So, the Sri Lankan Liberation Army is Ceylon, not Sri Lanka. My fault. I forgot. I forgot the name. They're actually going to launch a massive attack, and they're going to capture that. It's going to be followed by them losing that part. And yeah, they're actually gonna start completely annihilating Bengali troops over here. And Bengal's gonna kind of realize that they're looking not as strong as they thought they are, and the country itself is gonna start going through a lot of political shifts, as they basically realize that their thing of we're a really rich country existed because they had all of this land. And then it shrunk to just this, and they were like, yeah, we're still a really rich country because we have a bunch of overseas colonies. But now Ceylon fighting back is kind of and actually almost pushing them out at this point because they push all the way over here. This is kind of a wake up call for the people, and they basically realize that the only two real colonies they have is this, which is funded by Shanghai, and this, which is actually a Crimean colony that has basically just been repurposed. It is basically dead. It has like 20 people living there. So yeah, they kind of realize all that, and they decide to pull out of. Well, they're more like chased out, but they also decide to kind of pull out of of um of the Ceylon island. So yeah, they're gonna exit that, and Ceylon is finally going to get their island back after so long, bro. It's actually genuinely been so long since this island has been under complete Ceylon control. But our favorites, the most isolationist people in existence, they're finally back at it, back to being isolationists. They finally defeated the force that took over their home for a little bit over there. But it's okay. I think forgive and forget because absolutely no one's remembering that Bengal had a whole empire to themselves. Um, yeah, Ceylon is once again pretty strong, except this time they're actually going to do something that no one really expected them to do. For the first time in the history of this country, it's going to expand just finish off this island, and that is because they no longer trust that somebody else won't come to destroy the island, and they are going to take their old capital back, obviously, because it's not that destroyed. It's kind of destroyed. It's not that destroyed. Like it's rebuildable. But yeah, that is basically the end to the Bengal arc. No, I mean kinda. The actual Bengal Empire is dead. They're probably gonna have to sell this colony off soon. But the Bengal rebels, that the anti-Bengal government that took over this, they're still in full swing, full motion. They still have a bunch of dreams of what they want to conquer, where they want to expand and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on from there. Um, Let me check my notes because I think I forgot. Okay, yeah. So who just messaged me, bro? Okay, so Saigon. Ah, yes, the Saigon storyline. So firstly, the Philippines is actually gonna do something. They're going to actually expand and capture a little bit of land, and this is what's gonna trigger the new Saigon Wars. Because them capturing this land, Saigon's gonna be like, yo, hold up, wait a minute. Why are you doing that, little bro? And even the blue team's gonna get involved a little bit. They're gonna be like, yo, calm down. And Philippines is gonna realize all this. And they're gonna be like, okay, we can't colonize anything new because no one's about to let us do that. But you know what we can do? We can invade and we can capture some existing land. You see where I'm going with this? With all these guys being mostly Philippines allied, there's only one person they can really take over. And yeah, they get all these guys involved. They they army them up. They get them locked in, and they launch an invasion of Saigon. The goal of the invasion is to basically just capitulate the capital, which is definitely not about to happen. Also, I'm sick right now, if you could not tell. That's why this video is a little bit delayed. But it's okay, we're back in business. I know I say this every video for the past 3 videos. It's just a coincidence, bro. Every time I sit down to record, I'm sick. That's honestly the only times I remember to record. That is my fault, but we are back in full operation. Hopefully, I think think I'm gonna pre-schedule a couple of videos so that we don't have a content drought again. But yeah. Let's hope we don't see anything like this again. Yo, for OGs, I'm a yap while I'm drawing this out, but for OGs, this is honestly not that bad. I used to go months without uploading, so at least the max has only been 8 days so far. 9 days, I guess now. But yeah, it's okay. It is okay. Anyways, Philippines troops are going to also launch a little bit of an invasion. They're gonna do it. Actually, it's only been 8 days. Yeah, they're gonna do it in the south. They're gonna invade, capture all. Well, oh, okay. I, eyebrow, eyebrow. That's cool. They're gonna invade and they're gonna capture that, and they're gonna capture another city right here. And both of these, I can't lie, it's bad. It's really bad. Honestly, what I would do at this point as Saigon is give up this land and sign a ceasefire. But obviously, Saigon is not gonna do that. Now, these guys cannot handle all of this, so they're gonna eventually be forced to give that land up, and these guys are gonna move in to take control of that, and they're gonna keep pushing. Now, the blue team is gonna step in, and they're gonna be like, "Okay, guys, let's chill," because there's gonna be a second power vacuum that's gonna get created in here. The Philippines is gonna be like, "No, no, no, it's okay, bro. Let me cook." And eventually, even the Philippines is gonna start to realize that, okay, maybe this is not such a good idea. And as they capture more and more of Saigon, they're gonna realize the power vacuum is about to be so deep, bro. The power vacuum is about to like absolutely screw this region over for the next decade and a half. And so they start actually to pull out a little bit in exchange for Saigon, obviously signing a treaty of non-aggression with these smaller states. But these guys do not pull out. These guys are like, nah, 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 nah. Y'all can pull out, bro. We are pushing. We are going to continue to oops. We are going to continue to push. And they capture the capital. And yeah, with that ceasefire, because the blue team is going to threaten a lot of things to make that ceasefire happen. They're not about to let the entire country fall to this micronation. The amount of the power vacuum will be crazy. Now there is already this has already gone too far, and there's already a kind of a power vacuum, but not in Saigon now. These guys, these pink guys, have pushed far enough to make the power vacuum in their alliance over here, because now we got one pink nation that is extremely strong, and we got the green nation that is that is extremely. I cannot speak. That is extremely strong. So these two are, not looking good. And these guys are overly aggressive as well, so it's like they may just invade and capture a bunch of stuff. Anyways, next up is yes, the blue team. The blue team is gonna realize that they don't need to keep this anymore because of the red team. It, since the red team isn't here, they don't need to keep this either. So they're actually going to, yeah, they're gonna decolonize that completely. That's just gone. That's mostly just gone. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think they're gonna be forced to do that if I'm being honest, just because of the hostilities. The hostilities are like high right now. There's no way they can really like ship up there. And these guys, they're honestly also they're not gonna get decolonized. They're actually gonna colonize a little bit more, or they're planning to. But right now, they're probably dying as well because there is no way anything is getting all the way up there. Anyways, next up, the Balkan Wars, which are gonna be all three of these guys. Basically, these guys are gonna launch an invasion. How long has the video been? I feel like I'm going too fast. It's only been 10 minutes, bro. Oh my god. Anyways, let's take it a little bit slower. What I will do today, to make up for this video being so delayed, is I will actually um give the updated rankings for everything at the end of this video. I've been putting that out for a while, but yeah. Anyways, these guys launch an invasion. This is basically just to capture this little thing. This is to capture the capital, but also to get sea access both over here and over here. So that's happening. The capital is almost like completely encircled already, just because these pink guys were created out of what was left of the Ottomans. Actually, is this the Ottomans? Is this the Ottomans? I think this is the Ottomans. Oh wow. Okay, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Whatever is left, either way, it's about to get absolutely cooked and destroyed. So yeah, the Greece area rebels and joins these guys by force, and also their military helps a little bit, but that falls. Oh, oops, maybe that was a little bit too much. That falls almost immediately, bro. Come on, that falls almost immediately, just because no one in Greece wants to be a part of the Ottomans, bro. Come on. They literally had their own country, and then the Ottomans took it over. Anyways, that north over there also falls, and from here the capital is pretty much encircled and is being encroached upon as we speak. Over here, this part is going to basically just capitulate because there's no one keeping it alive. And yeah, from here, I think these guys are probably going to surrender because they've probably realized that there is literally nothing more they can do to save the Ottoman Empire. It is gone. It has been wiped off the face of the earth. Um, but also, not only has it been wiped off the face of the earth, the Ottoman government actually, the king, maybe they'll make a comeback because the king actually is not killed. He is actually exiled. And he is exiled to Vienna, from where he eventually flees to Morocco and then finds refuge inside of the blue team. So there's that. He's probably somewhere in Ethiopia now. That's that. Uh what's next? What is next? Ah yes, the Mughal Civil War. Finally, again. I have no idea why these guys still exist. This time it's actually gonna be these guys who start the Civil War. And it's actually gonna be a part of a much larger Blue Team Shanghai final battle that is going to get built up to in a couple of the next few episodes, which is basically Shanghai's gonna collapse anyway, so may as well give you guys a really good episode because of that collapse. Instead of collapsing just like that, they're probably gonna be collapsing because of a great war, which I think that's the most realistic option. Anyways, these guys are gonna launch the invasion by probably doing the most stupidest thing possible. They're gonna launch an invasion into mostly uninhabited land, but they're also gonna launch an invasion into this heavily militarized. I want to emphasize heavily militarized little spike thing. And these guys are just gonna respond by pushing absolutely crazy into the north over here, because that's where they expected the invasion to be. So they already had a lot of troops there when these guys announced that when like some of the plans rumors were spreading that these guys may launch an invasion, so a lot of troops are moved there. Anyways, it's safe to say that almost instantly we can just assume that this land is gone. Just saying. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised about that. And the outskirts are probably immediately going to just they're gone, if I'm being honest. Those were not about to survive that long. But Shanghai actually starts sending a lot of resources, which scares the blue team quite a bit. And so they actually do the first semi Japan Shanghai war. Basically, they go into the waters of Shanghai alongside the Japanese Navy and they start bombing all of this, like into oblivion. And they make a little bit of a landing over here, but they eventually leave. That's enough to scare Shanghai to tone down the military quite a bit. And remember, actually, I'm pretty sure as a part of the old treaty, Shanghai troops weren't even allowed here that much anymore. So yeah, that is definitely going to be one of the big final blows. And eventually, after this, the Mughal government is going to go into exile as these guys basically encroach closer and closer upon the capital and then finally end up capturing it. So I think it is safe to assume the Mughal government, the old Mughal government, has completely now collapsed. And celebrations actually break out in the entire country because the entire country is like, oh my god, finally, bro. This has been way too long. Like, this war has actually been going on for a lot of episodes. This has been going on for like 10, 20 episodes now. It's a civil war. I think this might win the title of the longest civil war in Civilization Restarts history. Civil war, not war. Civil war. But, the victors are the blue team's side, obviously. Because the blue team has generally bribed me at this point. Like, this is just the blue team series. Isn't even Civilization Restarts. This is just Blue Team Empire. But yeah, they're strong now. Yeah, I don't know what else you say though. Yeah, wait, hold up. That alliance that these two had, that is definitely gone now because the only other member is dead. And the government, some military leader, he is actually not even going to be exiled. He's just going to be oofed. So there is absolutely no chance of that old government coming back. And also, there's just not that many people that want that government to come back. So yeah, I don't think there's even a single person. But yeah. Now we can move on to one more thing. The red team versus the red team war with this North Mamluk small country. these guys right here, and that's just gonna be a quick little thing. The red team's just gonna swoop through, and this is gonna be after they gave an ultimatum, and these guys rejected it, and they're gonna be welcomed with mostly open arms. Because at this point, no one there could care less. All the people that liked the Mamluk country and being a part of the Mamluk country have left to the Mamluk country. Uh, yeah, that's that. That is gone. That is back to being a part of the red team. The Mamluks themselves, though, they're kind of disappointed because when the Mamluk Revolution happened and they joined the Blue Team's alliance, they were promised prosperity. The economy is at an all-time high, but they're still poorer than countries like Indonesia, countries like the Himalayas, the Arab Sea Republic. They're literally broker than Georgia. So like, yeah, and that's because all their money goes to the military to protect whatever is left of this border at this point, and also because most of their booming cities where the blue team was funding a lot of the new projects were up here, and those are all gone. So now the only cities are like down here and a few sprinkled over here. Anyways, though, the rebels break out, and this time it doesn't look like they want a new government. It looks like they want the dissolution of this country. But that's a problem for a later time. At this point, it's just gonna be a change in government. Like I'm sure this government will actually free a lot of provinces and just make them their own state. But at this point, right now in time, they're campaigning on the fact that they want a new government. Now, in this government, there is actually a difference of opinion. Obviously, there's like I said, half the people basically a couple. It's a military led thing. Also, it's a military coup. A lot of the people want to completely just break the state apart, while a lot of other people just want a new government. Now, speaking of the government, this is already going to collapse. Here's the key thing: both of these governments are pro blue team. They're just sick of the way that the old government was like. Uh, they're just sick of the way the old government was using the funding that the blue team gave. But they are still blue team allied, which is why the blue team isn't really going to get involved in this. Yeah, eventually these guys are just going to win that civil war, like easily. There's no cities left after they captured that. Now, this new government is going to go through a lot of elections and stuff over the next few episodes, just because you know they've been campaigning on a lot of different things. So a lot of conflicting promises. There's a couple of the people in these border regions who've been like saying that yeah, we're gonna actually take back the Suez Canal. We're gonna take all the way up to Lebanon and take all of that back from the red tape, which is definitely not happening. Just so you guys know, that is not about to happen. The max furthest they can get is like over here, maximum. Even that I think is pretty unrealistic. I think this little piece of Egypt is always going to be a part of the red team now. But yeah, let's move on from that. I think that is the end of today's episode. I'm gonna end it off by giving the updated rankings. So in economy, number one by GDP is the blue team. Number two is actually going to be, for the first time in the history of everything, it's gonna be the red team. They're back to number two. They used to be number one. Remember that they used to be number one, but now they're number two. They're back. They're back from the dead. Looks like the new government is working. Number three is going to be. This is actually a very good question. I think number three at this point might be Indonesia, just because of the absolute destruction that's been caused everywhere. Number four is going to be Crimea, obviously, and number five is actually going to be Morocco. These guys, they are number five. Yeah. Next up, economy still, but like GDP per capita, like richest people. Number one, for the first time in a long time, is not going to be Crimea or Georgia or anyone over here. It's going to be these guys, this small little country, because remember, they are now in the middle of the richest and the second richest country, and all their people are people who have ties to both of these countries. So, yeah, that that's going to happen. Uh, Number two is going to be Crimea. Number three is gonna be Arab Sea Republic probably. Number four is going to be the Himalayas. No, actually, number four is gonna be the red team. Wait, no, let's redo that one because I completely forgot the red team and the blue team exist. Number one is these guys. Number two is the blue team. Number three is Crimea. Number four is the red team, and number 5 is the Arab Sea Republic. Now let's come to military. Military, I think, firstly, Navy, blue team, followed by number 2, Arab Sea Republic, number 3, red team, number 4, Crimea, and number 5, I have honestly no idea who number 5 could be. Probably someone like Himalayas, let's just say, because I don't think there's anyone else left. Um, Land military, number 1 is back to being the red team. They are back. Number 2 is the blue team. Actually, I would say number 1 is still the blue team. Actually, I take that back. Number 1 is the blue team. Number 2 is the red team. Number 3 is the Mughals. Number 4 is I think number 4 is gonna be probably Crimea, and then number 5 is gonna be the Himalayas, and then overall number 1 is the blue team. Overall across military, economy, everything, number 1 is the blue team. Number 2 is the red team. I think. Number 3 is probably Crimea. Number 4 is probably the Arab Sea Republic, and then number 5 is probably Indonesia. So yeah, with that, I hope you guys did end up enjoying this video. No, it was a little bit short. Last video was insanely long. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.